So 2 days till the end of the month. Yay. This is Month End Maniac. I say that all the time. It's when the magic starts to happen. A lot of excitement and helping people to get where they want to go and where they need to go and all of that. And so I always love the energy that's in the room. I saw this on Facebook today. You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment, and you can make your life what you want it to be, Napoleon Hill. And I think that's true of each and every one of us. And I love seeing that today. And then I also saw choose the positive. You have the choice. You are the master of your attitude. Choose the positive, the constructive. Optimism is a faith that leads to success. And that's Bruce Lee. And I love that too, because I think, we start our day off with gratitude. We talk a lot about gratitude, mindset, where we're at. And this is how we can change the trajectory of our future and our day, our week, our month, in our year. So today we're going to talk a little bit about leadership because we're in the last 2 days of the month and there's specific things that we can be doing as leaders and masterminds. And I really, really want your feedback. So as we're going through what I put together, please, if something hits you and you have a story or something that you can share, please do that because we are a mastermind and that is what we do. We share ideas. So I was thinking a lot about, what's important at the end of the month is really what's important for the beginning of the month. What we do for the end of the month is absolutely what starts our new month off. And so I saw Yoda. Yoda says, try not, do or do not. There is no try. And I think that's true. I think that we say a lot of times, well, I'll try to see if I can do that. I'll try to see if I have time for that. I'll try. But the truth is you either can do it or you can't do it. And you can't beat yourself up for it if you can't do it because life is life. But if you want to do something, we all know that we make it happen. So I, go back to being a connector, really going deep in my relationships and really finding out, what other people are doing, what makes them tick, what they're passionate about, how can I be a good connector once I know, who they are, what they do and stuff like that. And so I kind of put this little diagram together to kind of show you, in terms of connecting with the people that you want to connect with at the end of the month, your Class A prospects, you have people that have maybe mentioned they're interested. I was sharing a story that, I was at the tennis court, everyone was commenting on the fact that my skin was so young looking that they didn't believe that I could be in the over 55 tennis. And yet we all play together all the time in the sun. And I could definitely see that what they see in my skin as opposed to their skin. I mean, I could definitely see that whatever they're using, whatever I'm using, there's a clear difference. And even though there was a clear difference, for some reason, not everybody was like, oh my God, get me your skincare. Because you have to build a relationship with people and you can't build it on selling something. You have to build it on what's important to them at the time. So this is my kind of diagram of people that I've run into lately that have asked me about Miriam and how I'm connecting them in some way, somehow. So I have a story for each of those people. And I really think that looking at something like this every day and filling up your funnel by how you're connecting with people is important. So I put some things down here that may be helpful to you. They might be something you want to maybe take a screenshot of, but basically we can run through it. Closing out your month strong is setting up your month before your month begins is absolutely what will start the trajectory of your next month. Closing out your month strong with new people is we talk about it all the time. It's the lifeblood of any business. So we want to make sure that as people come into your business and as you close out the month, that you as the leader of that team, or if you are the sponsor, you want to make sure that you're introducing every new person to yourself or your upline or somebody on your team so that they feel connected to the team. And you want to begin building those relationships with every team member as they come on into your group because, you never know how you can connect somebody. And I'm going to tell a quick little story about that in a second. It's important to start to build your calendar with events with all your new people because that's how you change the energy in your group. So somebody comes into your group that's brand new and they're like, what do I do? The first thing you want to do is you want to talk about them having an event. And if you're close to them or near them and you're not even their sponsor, but you're a sponsor, but you can show up and be part of that and bring energy to the group and maybe a little bit of your expertise to help them do a party correctly or help them put together something, that's what you want to do. Several months ago, we talked a lot about how to build your calendar with your connections and, your great referral sources, your good referral sources, your friends, your family, how to build that into your daily, monthly, and yearly calendar. And every new month, it's a good idea to end the month by scheduling the month ahead. So when you're looking at your team and when you're looking at your connections and when you're looking at the people that you want to talk to maybe today before the end of the month, you really are setting up your next month to stay connected. So the idea is scheduling, if you're making calls today to some of your referral sources or some of the people that you know that are on your list as Class A's, regardless of whatever they decide to do this month, you're setting yourself up for next month. So you never want to end the call without scheduling something in advance, something for the next month. You want to stay close. You want to stay connected. So scheduling calls with your great referral sources, that's making a list of people that are your raving fans, that they refer you business and you want to stay connected with them because you want to refer them business. Same thing with your good referral sources. You're building raving fans all along while you're building these connections. And your new acquaintances that you meet, you want to stay connected, figure out a way, right? This will help you to connect by planning your month before your month begins. You also want to be very, very hyper vigilant on making sure you know when the regional is in your area and where your base of your client, your partners and your new partners are, because you want your new people to get into the rhythm of the company. The best way to do that is by inviting them to the regional to go with you. Pick them up, make sure their sponsor is doing the same thing, and where you can sort of build that connection and help them get into the culture of why this is such a great company. You want to schedule your calendar to help your new people connect with 2 people a day. So you're getting them into the rhythm of 10 core by just suggesting, hey, you know what? This is how we do it. Hey, do you want to go over your list? I call it my Fortune 14. I've talked about it before. I map out who are my 2 a day, whether it's, a phone call, whether it's setting up a sit down, whether it's sure that, they get a video or 3-way call. There's very few things that we have to do in this business, but if we do them, they could be pretty simple to do. Schedule your calendar to help your team and yourself guarantee your 3 are free in the first week of the month. Why do you want to do that? Well, the most important thing I think that we have in Nerium is we have things in our business at Nerium that no other company I know of has. And so if you can help somebody get their product for free, and that's done and over and they've achieved that, it's going to be a lot easier for them to achieve other things because you've helped them and you've showed them how to become successful with Nerium. Getting 3 are free is the first thing you want to do. And then you want to say, great, you did that so great. Let's continue on. Let's get you some more customers. Let's build your foundation. I can tell you this month, I am seeing in my team a huge rate of 3 are free as we've been talking about it and focusing on it, and that is building a lot of foundational volume, which helps people rank advance. Okay, so we don't want to find out, that people on the last day of the month have not reached their 3 are free. It makes it a little more crazy. Of course, will help everybody whenever that is. But if you can start that process at the beginning of the month in really driving the 3 are free and making sure people get their product for free, that's amazing, right? That's success. And find out in the first few days of the month as a leader who on your team would like to rank advance. So when you bring new people into the organization or when your team does, a lot of energy comes in. It's new energy, it's excitement, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to drive. So you want to get into those new people and to the people that have an interest in rank advancing right away. And you want to be scheduling out the month and, helping them to learn how to schedule. the best part about the Nerium experience, you guys, if we really break it down, is that everybody learns a lot about business. They learn about how to run a business. They learn about how to cultivate a business. They learn about how to build a business. And this is stuff that I don't think we talk about that much, but really honestly, you know, I've owned businesses my whole life and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. But I've learned more in Nerium over the last 5 years in just structuring and building a business and a team more than anything I've ever done. So I wanted to kind of remind you on the way that we connect, right? So statistically, when you talk about communication, your words amount to about 7% of communication. That's why I think, you know, when you're typing your words or you're texting your words or you're, you know, emailing your words, it's not as effective than when somebody can actually hear your words and the tone. So 38% of good communication comes from the tone of how you're expressing yourself, what your energy is, how you're communicating and you're broadcasting who you are. And then 55% of your communication is actually your body language. So it's more effective to actually be one-on-one in person with somebody to really give them that full effect of where you're at in your energy and how you feel and what you're feeling about what you have and your why and all of those things. So one of the most key things about cultivating the relationship is that you don't make it about yourself. It's not about, you know, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. I can't wait to tell you all about me. It's about asking questions and asking questions about the people that you know and that you love and that you meet. And good questions are like, when you meet somebody, are, what do you do? I'll bring back this conversation that I had with this woman that played against me in the tennis match. You know, we were walking to the bathroom. You know, I could have sat there and talked to her nonchalantly about anything, but I asked her immediately, so what do you do? And she said, oh, I help the elderly. And I did say to her, I said, what do you love best about what you do? And she said, I love being a huge part of their quality of life. Well, that was an amazing thing for me to hear because I totally related to that. You know, I didn't have really the ability after that conversation started to really go into why she chose the line of work, but I could see that she was super passionate about it. And it was very, very simple at that point for me to say to her, wow, I think I might have something that can help you with the quality of life with your clients, because she works with the elderly. And I thought immediately of EHT. So really the person who asks the best questions, who's a master asker, controls the conversation. And I absolutely did. I got her information. I sent her an email. She said she was going to review the information. And here's where the connection part goes. So about 3 weeks ago, a person came into my organization. I'm not the sponsor, but I made sure to connect with that person. I found out what they did for a living. Turns out that what they do is they place older people in facilities that are, you know, great for maybe assisted living or maybe in a place that they can get medical care and whatever. And they help families. They place their parents or older people into these kinds of really great facilities. And she's a great lady. And I remembered yesterday, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, she ended up getting Fast Start qualified in 19 days of getting involved. And the whole reason she got Fast Start qualified is because she had an experience with EHT. She's my age. And it was so monumental in her life that she said, I've got to share this with people because I can't believe what it's done for me. That kind of passion and that kind of, you know, being a product of the product got her 10 customers within 2 weeks and got her senior brand partner. And she is already getting feedback from the people that she shared EHT with and their stories. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I met this new person on the tennis court. She's in geriatric care. I have a brand partner who just had incredible experience with EHT. I'm going to connect them. So I immediately made a email to that new person and I said, hey, I don't know if you're ever looking for referrals and how that works with you, but I happen to have a partner in my business who absolutely loves the EHT. I'd love you to hear her story. Now, I'm connecting her by saying, I want to give you referrals. I'm not connecting her by saying, I want to get your business. So that's kind of the aspect of how I do my connections, is I want to know how I can help somebody. So the next key question is, how can I know if someone I'm speaking with is a good prospect for you? So the question is, when you meet somebody or you want to go deeper in your connections, you want to ask that person, hey, I know that you are in insurance. How can I help you with prospects and help you build your business? What can I do, or what can I say to someone to refer them to you? And that will start the conversation of them telling you what it is they do and how they best describe how they get customers and how they would like you to refer them business. Building raving fans. I can guarantee you this: if you're connecting people with other connections that build their business, they're going to reciprocate. It's a natural thing. And if you're networking correctly, the other person will never notice that you're networking. I think that's a very important aspect of what we all do in business. You know, you don't really want to be obvious about what you're networking, right? You obviously want people to know what you do, but if you're very, very organic with the fact that you want to help other people, it comes back to you. So another thing that I think is really, really important is to post your success. Do it on your page intermittently, on your Facebook page, and let people know what's going on in your organization. Let people know. This is, again, Andrea, who I was telling you about. She became a senior brand partner yesterday. She actually called me to say, oh my gosh, I think I just became a senior brand partner. She goes, what do I do next? I said, I guess you have a glass of wine and celebrate, and we'll get back to it. It was a lot of fun. And then, you know, I saw Janet had posted this party that she did yesterday, and she got a customer out of it, and they kind of had a combined party, a lot of really fun people. So it's great to see that, because it kind of helps you to start doing the same thing in your organization. I wanted you guys to know about this book. I don't know if you've read it. It's called The Tipping Point. And what I think is really important for, you know, us all to know as our business goes up and down, and as we grow and as we build, there is a tipping point that you can kind of see where your business is kind of taking off. There's a trajectory, there's a momentum, okay? And this is a really, really interesting book to read. I really enjoyed it. I'm reading it again. I think it really helps to understand how just the way you broadcast what you've got and the way that you connect with people can really, really build into a momentum in your own business. So when people are having parties, and then they're having more parties, and then they're having more parties, everyone's getting excited. Everyone's building their business. Everybody's having fun. This is how you create a tipping point in your business. And so you can do that personally. You can do that with your team. You can start with you and then go to the next person and the next person. But it really is an absolute science to know that when your energy, what you're doing, you know, starts to, you know, infringe on other people, and that energy starts to really blossom, you are creating eventually a tipping point in your business. So yesterday, just a few announcements yesterday on the corporate call. You know, Europe is this October. Start building your business in Germany and Austria. The pre-launch resources are in Nerium.eu. I shared that yesterday on the Zoom. Also, Anna recorded this great recording of what color are you, your personality, and why I think this is a great training. If you haven't seen her do it at the conference and you didn't see her do it at a regional, it's a 20-minute phone call that you can literally put in your ears as you're driving around. I listened to it a couple weeks ago, and I told her, you know, what I loved most about it was so, her voice is very soothing, and it was so descriptive on these different personalities. And when you can identify yourself, you can also start to identify the people that you come in contact with, and you kind of can help morph into what their likes and dislikes are, and by sharing and connecting with them, by knowing what their color is and what they're about, right? And so I really, you know, if you have some time in your car or whatever and you can listen to this, I think it's very helpful. Here's the slide. It was a little out of order, but Nerium.eu, you can find out all the information you need about our launch into Europe. I'm pretty excited about this, you guys. I don't really really know anybody in Europe, but I know all of you know somebody that knows somebody, and this will be how we build in another 2 countries. So it's very, very exciting. And for those of you in the East Valley, I'm sorry, the West Valley, we have another market party happening. So Rachel Rowan is, you know, an esthetician. She has a lot of product knowledge. It's a great education anytime you can listen to her, and she's kind of fun and kooky. So I think it's a good one to go to if you're in Southern California. So that, you guys, is my Zoom today, and I so appreciate each and every one of you, you know, coming in. Does anybody have any comments or anything they'd like to share about closing out the month strong and what we're trying to do for our month ahead?
Annie, it's Susie. I'm the Stairmaster. I do. Trying to say this so I still breathe here. The Tipping Point is an excellent book. I read that years ago. Thank you. I'll get it out again. So good. But in one of the networking companies I was in, meetings I was in, I mean to say, we did coaching sessions. And yesterday I met 2 brand new business people in a networking meeting. And here's what I did. I called them and I said, oh my gosh, I'm so interested in what you're doing. I'm so interested in helping you. Let's get together, have a cup of coffee, and you tell me how I can refer to you. And then I'll tell you a little bit about me. And this is a technique that I've used for many years, and I recruit people this way because I sit down and the first half an hour is about them, and the next 15, 20 minutes is about me or less. And I have 2 of those today and tomorrow. So basically asking good questions, Annie, and putting your attention on those other people first is important. Well, then a German fellow who has worked on our wood floors for years is back in my home 2 weeks ago. Robert came over, we did a sit down with him. He's coming Saturday, and my intention is to get him signed up and get him started with his 600,000 Germans in LA, by the way. Not that he knows them all, but, and yeah, you reconnect with people. You say, oh, where are you from? Germany. Oh my gosh. So he's coming Saturday, and I'm sure he's going to enroll. He's very excited about it. So always be on the lookout for people that you've known in the past too.
You know, Susie, that is so great. And you know, I have to say, you guys, Susie is a wonderful, she is a great recruiter, and she belongs to a lot of networking groups, and she's constantly meeting people. That's part of her everyday life. And so if you are looking to meet new people, and you're in an area where there are networking groups, it is a good idea. Start with one. I know she belongs to a lot of them, but start with one, see how you do, because this will be a way for you to learn a lot about connecting with newer people that are sort of like-minded. You know, we got involved in Toastmasters, and Robert has absolutely loved the experience in not only learning how to better speak in front of people, but he's met a lot of different people just by exposing himself to a new group. So it's a great tip, Susie. Anybody else have any ideas?
Hey, Annie, this is Suze in Chicago.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, I should take off my video here, or put my video on. Hi, everybody. My morning face. I just wanted to tag on to your point about conversation and letting the other person talk. I'm on a book club, and we're reading The Magic of Thinking Big right now. Every morning we get together on the phone and do this book club. And the chapter today talked about conversation generosity. And I just think it's another way to say the same thing that you said, but it just really hit home that in a conversation, be generous. In other words, let the other person talk. And the other little line from that chapter was, take a look around and observe people, observe conversations. And generally speaking, the person who does the least talking is probably the most successful or has the biggest bank account. So that's all I wanted to share. Conversation generosity.
I think that's amazing. And Suze, I really appreciate your input. I would agree with you. The most interesting person in the room is usually the one who's silent and observing everybody else. Anybody else have some ideas? These are great, you guys. I love it. Okay, silence, you guys. I guess you're all the most interesting people in the room. So I really
Cruel.
all right, you guys. Well, listen, we have 2 days left, okay, for the end of the month. This is the time where we all make magic happen. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about that magic, and we're going to get to it today. We're going to make some magic happen. We're going to set it up, and then we're going to have a great close so we can set up our if you can believe it, we're going to set up the last quarter of our year, and it's going to be magical. So go out there, have an amazing day. I, however, will be stuck in my house because it's going to be 112 here in Santa Clarita, and I'm not moving. But I love you guys all for contributing today. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Annie.
Bye.
Bye, Annie. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.